Okay, it's recording. Okay. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to this masterclass, training, webinar, workshop, thingy, do whatever you want to call it. That's all good. On successful and sustainable memberships without a team. I realized I have quite a lot to say on this, and as now is the time I'm talking about memberships for a reason. I'll talk about a teeny weeny bit later on. I wanted to do this training thing with you. So hello, welcome to old friends and new faces. Lots of people I know, lots of people I don't know are here, which is really exciting. Please do post in the chat where you're at with memberships. Do you have a membership? Are you considering a membership? Are you just here to hang out with me for a while? So yeah, where are you at with memberships? I'd love to hear from people. So Robin Marie opened hers 2 months ago. Joan has a Facebook group, but it's unpaid. Lorna doesn't have one, but is interested. Susan has one, needs a boost. Sandra has one, but beginner. Maria shut one down 10 months ago, now relaunching in 2 weeks. That's very exciting. Blair doesn't have one, but considering. Kat's working on one. Brittany launched one in August. Shelley's planning. Okay, we've got all the stages, perfect. So, like I said on the page wherever you signed up, there is no pitch in this training. However, you will receive emails from me in the next few days about something related to memberships that I'm a really proud affiliate for. But if you're not interested in that, there'll be the option to stop hearing about that, basically. Now, I will warn you, I finished my slides about an hour ago. This training is an absolute beast. My trainings are often beasts, but this one is an absolute beast. I have no idea how long we're going to go. We're going to go for as long as we go. If you need to hop off, there will be a recording, totally fine. It turns out I have a huge amount to say about memberships, and I think you'll find it helpful if you have a membership, if you're considering one, kind of anything in the membership space. I think you'll find this helpful. I hope you find this helpful. So a quick overview of the order. So this is kind of like the contents. Oh my gosh, my hair. So I'm growing out my undercut and I've switched my parting, and I don't know if I'm coming or going with my hair at the moment. So a quick overview of the order. I'm going to take you the full history of ConvertKit Club. So it's about 33 months old, so just coming up to 3 years. I'm going to take you through the full history, what happened at every single stage, decisions that I made, and kind of like commentate and reflect back on what I did, if I'd have done it differently, what worked well, what didn't work well, and so on. And then I'm going to share with you how I run my membership, just me, so no team, and my top tips and like what I found really works for me to keep that manageable. And then I'm going to talk about a bunch of things that I have come to learn are really weird and really quirky or surprising about membership sites. So there's lots of things. I've been involved in lots of membership sites. I've had several myself, and there's just some really weird, surprising things about them that I just thought I'd share with you and debust some myths and that kind of thing. And then we'll do a Q&A if we're all still awake and alive. So please do ask questions as we go. I may well not answer them until the end. If you have to hop off, you'll get the recording, like I said. If the chat is just moving faster than I can manage, I might save your Q&As till the end anyway. You can use the Q&A box if you want to or need to. That's probably actually a safer place if you've got like a legit question. And we'll see how we go. There's currently a manageable number of you on live, so hopefully we should be okay. Right, I'm going to turn off my camera because otherwise I'm just going to be horribly distracted by my hair. Yeah, okay, let me actually tie my hair up because otherwise I'm just going to twiddle with it, and then that's fine. Okay, let's get into it, shall we? So let's go back to June, July 2016. So this is where ConvertKit Club all started for me. So in June, July. I think it was June officially. I had just become one of the first 4 ConvertKit certified experts. Now, the history of that is the story of that manifesting story is a whole different story, but I was very newly a ConvertKit certified expert. I was pretty much just working as a tech BA at the time, mostly hourly, but I had started to offer ConvertKit migrations and some other package work. Now, I was starting to get a little bit known for ConvertKit. I was already an admin in the official ConvertKit family Facebook group, and I was already helping a lot of people with ConvertKit. And at the time, there weren't really any ConvertKit courses out there. ConvertKit was still fairly new. And lots of people said, oh, you should do a ConvertKit course. You'd make loads of money, loads of people would buy it, it would be great. And I just didn't want to do a ConvertKit course. I'm like, that is a horrible idea based on how much ConvertKit changes. And then what happened, I was having a really bad day. I remember it so vividly. I was having a really bad day. I was queuing outside the post office because I had another business where I shipped off physical things. And I just had this idea, what if instead of doing a course, I did a membership, and then I could keep all that ConvertKit content sort of up to date. So probably the same day, knowing me, I bought ConvertKitClub.com and I created a waitlist landing page. So you can see a screenshot here. I went and looked at the Wayback Machine, and this is what my ConvertKit Club landing page looked like. And I think if I remember correctly, I actually run some Facebook ads to this landing page because I had no idea what I was doing. And I also created a Facebook page for ConvertKit Club. So I already have my business Facebook page, Elizabeth Goddard, but I also created another Facebook page, which was ConvertKit Club with Elizabeth Goddard. Now, one thing I do want to note, and I've never been asked this actually, but I think it's important to state, I, at the time, was a newly certified expert. I was in very regular communication with ConvertKit as a certified expert, and I did have their permission to create ConvertKit Club and use that name and use that branding and that name and do that. So I did have permission from ConvertKit to do that. They were totally fine with that. So that was the very beginning. And then I launched ConvertKit Club. So I went from idea to launch in a couple of weeks, which now is actually very slow for me. Normally it's a couple of days, if not a couple of hours, but a couple of weeks I went from first idea to launching it. Bear in mind, this was the very first thing I had done other than one-to-one training, one-to-one tech work for people before. Like I was just a tech VA. I hadn't done any one-to-many, no digital products, no courses, no trainings, nothing like that. This was the very first thing I did. So on July the 30th, I emailed my waitlist of 16 people to announce that ConvertKit Club was open. I also then emailed my full list of 83 people. And that full email to my full list, so the one at the top on here, so 83 people, it wasn't even just about ConvertKit Club. I was also announcing I was a ConvertKit certified expert. I was available for migrations. I could offer a 30-day free trial on my affiliate link. I had affiliate bonuses. Like, this was just like a bumper ConvertKit related email, and kind of like hidden in there somewhere was the fact that I was launching ConvertKit Club. Now, one thing that is quite important in this, in terms of how easy it can be to get these things going, is when I launched, I had no sales page. I did not have a sales page. All I had was a plain Samcart checkout page. So I don't know if you've really seen Samcart checkout pages, but it was literally just text. Some of it was in bold. There might have been some bullet points. I think there might have been a picture, but basically there was no sales page. I was selling this straight off a checkout page. So when I launched ConvertKit Club, there we go. So what was ConvertKit Club when I launched it? So the regular price was going to be $35, but for the first month, August 2016, the early bird price for the founding members was going to be $25 a month. don't remember why I picked these prices, probably because they were around the price of other memberships I saw at the time. But this was at a time when not everyone and their 3 dogs had a membership. So it was earlier in the membership trend, but this seemed to be a price point that I thought would be quite good, and I went with it. So ConvertKit Club, when I launched, included monthly training. So every month I was going to create a new full training on a topic in ConvertKit. A growing video library of just like little tech tutorial videos. A private Facebook group where you can ask me all your questions. A beginner's guide to ConvertKit. So this was actually a freebie that I had repurposed. So I was invited to be a guest expert in someone's program and create a training on ConvertKit. So I did that, and it was a 40-minute training called A Beginner's Guide to ConvertKit. And then I repurposed that as a freebie to grow my list. And then I also put that into ConvertKit Club and advertised that it was in ConvertKit Club, even though actually you could just go and get that for free. But it was in there, and I didn't really have much in there at that point. Oh, one thing I should say, the monthly training, when I launched, there was one training in there, which was about creating an email template. That was all that was in there. And then maybe like 6 or 7 videos in the library. There really wasn't anything much more than that. I also was going to offer a 15% discount on any of my one-to-one ConvertKit services. And then I was also going to include anything else ConvertKit related that I created. So if you like to know about tech setups, the membership site was built in OptimizePress on Optimize Member because I already knew how to do that, and I was starting to specialize a bit in OptimizePress at the time, and I'd worked with that with clients and I knew how to do it. So that's what I built it in. And then for payment, I chose Samcart. Now, I considered quite a few options at the time, but Samcart integrated directly with Optimize Member. It allowed me to take subscriptions, so charge monthly. It handled failed payments, and it allowed me to have affiliates. So at the time I signed up for Samcart, it was $99 a month. And that was a huge investment and commitment for me at the time. Like $99 a month was more than I spent on anything. But I figured that if I got 3 members, it would cover it. So I needed 3 extra members almost to pay for Samcart. And because I'd already bought the domain, convertkitclub.com, and I'd set up the Facebook page, I was pretty sure that ConvertKit Club was going to be my thing. This was going to be the thing in my business. If you've ever thought you've done a thing or have got a thing, you'll hopefully know what I mean by your thing, like the thing, signature thing. So I invested in Samcart, basically. So this is a screenshot on the right of what the inside of ConvertKit Club looked like on Optimize Member. So how did the launch go? I should really put launch in quotes here because I sent a grand total of 2 emails to my list about ConvertKit Club. I was definitely not an email marketing strategist back then. I was just good at ConvertKit. And I also promoted quite a lot in Facebook groups, and I did some quite clever things in Facebook groups about finding people who use ConvertKit and then offering them to get the first month free and some things like that. So by the end of the early bird, so that's the end of August, so I've been going a month, I had 21 paying members. Now, about half of these were on a 3-month trial at the time, but I was hoping that they would convert to paying members and that they would stay. And to say I was thrilled about this is a massive, massive understatement. That was $735. Actually, that math might be wrong. No, it might be right. No, that's right. $735 a month recurring revenue, just as long as I could keep them. Now, when I was just doing hourly tech work at the time, maybe my hourly rate was about $40. That was a lot of money, and that was really exciting. So I think I created the sales page right at the end of August, just before the early bird promo ended. So the early bird promo ended at the end of August. my birthday is the 1st of September. So it was my 27th birthday. So I'm pretty sure I did a few days like promo of join for $27 a month. I'm sure I did because I had 4 people sign up on that, but I never emailed about it. So again, really not much of an email marketer back then. I think I must have just been talking to people on Facebook, basically. So by early September 2016, I had 25 paying members in ConvertKit Club, and I was off with it. This was a real thing now. So my thoughts looking back, I had no idea what I was doing. I really, really had no idea. I had no idea from a strategy perspective. The tech setup was pretty poor. The design and the sales page was non-existent. The design of ConvertKit Club was pretty rubbish, if I'm honest. Like, I had no idea what I was doing. But I did get it out there in a couple of weeks. And because I got those first members, I could now figure this out as I was going with those paying members. So overall, I was super proud of myself for getting this up, getting this out there, and having people paying me for this thing I was now trying to do and making up as I was going along, to be honest. So some thoughts looking back though, ConvertKit Club was not the thing. I thought it was going to be the thing in my business, and I like having convertkitclub.com as a domain. That's fine to manage, but having another Facebook page, ConvertKit Club with Elizabeth Goddard, is a pain, and I can't really merge it, and I don't really know what to do with it, so I still just have both. And there's several other examples about like where I was so sure it was going to be the thing. So looking back, I wouldn't have concluded it was going to be the thing, and I would have almost like not so wholeheartedly gone down that route almost, because it made it a little trickier to pivot and change later on. So originally on the sales page, I said the ConvertKit Club would include anything else ConvertKit related that I create, which was too big of an offer. Now, I think it can be really tempting and easy to just like extravagantly bundle everything in. And it's a sort of a way to massively over deliver in a new membership. And whilst that is good in many ways, I really don't think it's entirely necessary. People were not joining for the promise of what I was going to create, because I didn't even tell them what I was going to create. People were joining for all the other things. So I could have not said that, and it caused some friction later when I almost like removed that and did create other things outside of ConvertKit Club. For me, internal friction. No one else has ever questioned it, I should add. But having promised that early, it was difficult for me to feel like I was going back on that. I would say that whilst I launched with a tiny list, like 83 people on my list, and many people who joined were not actually on my list when they joined, and that's still true today actually. Many people join ConvertKit Club and they're brand new to me. My audience was too small to not have a sales page from the start, so I should have had a sales page from the start. I'm a big fan now of you get one opportunity to tell people about something for the first time, and you want to put your best foot forward when you do that. I wouldn't have used affiliates from the beginning. So I did actually very, very, like almost immediately have people with affiliate links for ConvertKit Club. It didn't really convert. Looking back, it wasn't really something I needed to do. I guess I had the functionality in Samcart. I got a bit excited and I started doing that. And perhaps most importantly, I would have sent way more emails and marketed it way more. But this is going to be a common theme as we move through ConvertKit Club's history, that I don't really market it. So Jonas asked, looking back, do you wish you'd asked those 83 people on your list what they wanted before you launched? Not particularly, because they'd have told me they wanted a course, but I didn't want to create a course. So I talk a lot So I've got lots of thoughts on market research and how useful and important it is, and how much you should be the expert and create what you want to create, and that's got the best energy. So if I'd have asked them what they wanted, the people who replied would say they wanted a course, but I didn't want to create a course. And if I'd have created the course that they wanted, no one would have been happy, and it had probably just flopped. Okay, so take a sip of water and we'll go on to the first few months. So for the first few months, so September, so I had 25 members. September 2016, so that was like the second month of ConvertKit Club. I tried my first promo, so I created this like mini course thing called Dress Your Business for Opt-in Success, and it had super naff graphics, like everything did at the time. And I promoted that maybe once to my list to be like, you should join club and then you'll get this mini course. I don't know if anyone joined, probably not. It was all a bit rubbish, if I'm honest. And then in November, I took off the whole month for my wedding and my honeymoon. Both my wife and I took off the whole month. I've got a whole other training on how to take off a month as a service provider, actually. But I had a fellow ConvertKit certified expert friend of mine like cover the Facebook group for the month and keep my members happy. And I also emailed all paying members, which was still around 25. Some had dropped off, some new ones had joined. And I offered them either a 30-minute one-to-one call with me or a free month in ConvertKit Club. I think that's because I just felt so bad that ConvertKit Club was so new, and here I was 100% disappearing for a month. In hindsight, that was probably overkill. The fact that I had got a ConvertKit certified expert also in there who I trusted and liked to cover the Facebook group and provide that support, I think was enough in hindsight. But, you know, it was early days and I just wanted to keep the thing going best I could. Very few people took me up on that offer. Very, very, very few people took me up on that offer. Most people just didn't reply, didn't want the call, didn't want the free month. It was all good. So then by January, my list was now about 420 people. And it looks like I had around 25 paying members still. So some of those would have been newer and some would have dropped off from the start, but still around that 25 mark. It's difficult to get the exact numbers for lots of reasons, but it was around 25. So Blair asked, would you still use Samcart if you started today? Possibly, but I generally don't recommend Samcart, like blanket recommend Samcart. It's not the right fit for many people. It's overkill for their needs and it's more expensive for their needs. I love Samcart for lots of different reasons, but I might not choose it again if I was starting again. But I don't want to say, yes, I'd choose it again, and then that be like a recommendation for other people, because it wouldn't be necessarily. Maria asked, did you keep the membership open the whole time, or did you do open close? That's all coming. That's all to come, Maria. Chris said, what do you use now instead of Samcart as a starting point? It depends. It really, 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 really depends. Samcart can be good for some people. Thrivecart can be good for some people. Something like Gumroad can be very good. Not Gumroad, Sendal. Gumroad is really strict on what you can sell through it. Sendal is really good. Then you've got all your Teachables, your Thinkifics, your Podias, your member vaults. So it really depends. Okay, trundling on into 2017. So I wasn't really promoting ConvertKit Club. It was just this thing I did. It was just this thing I have. I had the smallest trickle of new members coming in, and many of them were coming in because I had this affiliate bonus offer where if you sign up for ConvertKit through my affiliate link, you get a 30-minute call with me and you get a free month of ConvertKit Club. But in order to claim your free month, you also had to put in your card details and it would start charging you after that first month. So a lot of the members that were trickling in, and it was a really small trickle, were coming in that way. It was also around this time that the monthly training stopped happening monthly. More on my epiphanies about that coming up later. So elsewhere in my business, my rates were going up. I was doing more and more ConvertKit work, migrations, funnel setups, training calls, like the works. Things were going well, but my attention just wasn't really on ConvertKit Club. For a lot of 2017, I also offered several of the ConvertKit Club trainings standalone for $29, and then had these like super messy upsells into ConvertKit Club. Now, I'm cringing about how messy it all was and how much work it was to set all of that standalone stuff up for just a few sales, especially getting them all set up in the membership site, in the different area, and optimized press, and just all of this, just like, I had so few sales of these ConvertKit standalone trainings, and it was all just a bit of a mess, especially considering Samcart's like really good for upsells. So I don't know what I was doing, but anyway, we live and learn. We live and learn. Okay. Chris says Teachable can be used for a membership site too. Yes, Chris, ConvertKit Club is currently on Teachable, and I'll talk more about that shortly. Okay, so the next big thing to come into the world of ConvertKit Club was ConvertKit Rockstars. So I launched ConvertKit Rockstars in May 2017, and it was a 6-week small group program of ConvertKit strategy and ConvertKit tech. So the beta round happened in May. I think I had 17 people sign up, and that was 397. That is an error. It was 397. And then the second round happened in like August, and that was 697. And I had, I think, 12 people sign up for the second round. So ConvertKit Rockstars included 6 months free in ConvertKit Club, and I didn't offer a discount to ConvertKit Club members. Explaining the difference between ConvertKit Club and ConvertKit Rockstars felt quite tricky, because you needed ConvertKit Club to do ConvertKit Rockstars, because lots of things in ConvertKit Rockstars pointed to trainings in Club, which is why you got the 6 months of Club for free. But this was the first time I did like a thing that was ConvertKit related, that was not one-to-one, that was not included in ConvertKit Club. And kind of like navigating that was a little tricky. And this is what I mean by hindsight. In hindsight, I should have left the door open for doing other ConvertKit things outside of Club earlier, because I kind of like had to push that door back open, even though I'd actually dramatically shut it earlier on, basically. So interestingly, most people who did ConvertKit Rockstars were not current ConvertKit Club members at the time of ConvertKit Rockstars. So they signed up for ConvertKit Rockstars, they got Club for 6 months for free, and then that was kind of like the first main thing they were doing with me. After the second round of ConvertKit Rockstars, I launched that. I did a post-launch survey, and I offered a free month in ConvertKit Club to everybody who filled in that survey. And I got 11 new members through that, which was pretty good at the time. So they had to sign up and put in their card details. They'll get automatically charged after a month. But that was a little flurry. I did get some new members actually around the time I was doing ConvertKit Rockstars, because in some ways it looked like a cheaper option, but it was also very different in many ways. So after ConvertKit Rockstars, so after the second round, I was getting a bit like ConvertKit fatigued. Quite a few things had happened between about July, August, September. So the new visual automation builder was introduced. That was super clunky when it first got released. There were a couple of other bumps with ConvertKit. Something I had proudly taught for a long time didn't work the way I thought, and that led to a bit of an existential crisis for me. So I just kind of needed a break from ConvertKit for a little bit. So September to November, I really started to branch out for the first time and offer some non-ConvertKit related things. So Rock Your Tech Specialism was a course about how to scale and grow your tech service provider business by specializing in a specific tech tool. I did the first of my what I call guide trainings, called the Lazy Guide to Affiliate Marketing, and that went super well. And I really started to grow my list a bit with non-ConvertKit users. This was also around the time I really started my love affair with cute graphics from Creative Market. So on the left here, the unicorn is Rock Your Tech Specialism. The sloth is the Lazy Guide to Affiliate Marketing. My branding really up-leveled around this time. I'm not quite sure why, but it really, really did. And then by November 2017, I had around 100 ConvertKit Club members, but quite a few of those weren't paying for different reasons. So like 25, 30 of them were in there for free because they were ConvertKit Rockstars. I had other people who were in there for free for different reasons. So maybe 40 were paying at this time. I'm not sure, but there's around 100 members total for whatever reasons. So take a sip. So I'd not fallen out of love with ConvertKit at all. I just needed a break from ConvertKit. I was doing other stuff for a few months. And something needed to change with ConvertKit Club. I had just fallen out of love with it. It'd been over a year at this point. I didn't have all that many paying members. Not really enough to like get my attention now that I'd started to launch bigger courses and group programs successfully. So whereas ConvertKit Club had been the first one-to-many thing I did, I'd really started to almost like master that, like hit my groove with offering those sorts of things in my business and making more money from them. And it wasn't super hard to like launch other stuff, whereas ConvertKit Club, I didn't have that many members, it wasn't making that much money, and it was just this thing, and I just kind of fell out of love with it for a little bit. It started to feel a bit like a drain, and this thing I was just like neglecting, but I didn't want to stop it. Like I didn't want to stop ConvertKit Club. I think it really had its place in my business, but something had to change about it. And I've been playing for a long time with the idea of what would it look like, what would happen if I made ConvertKit Club for free? What would that look like? So I was playing with this idea, and I kind of get these nudges and, you know, downloads, and I was really playing with, I wonder what would happen if I made ConvertKit Club free. And it wasn't necessarily that I was planning to do that, but I was really wondering. I'd also at this point started to use Teachable for some of my other courses. So Rock Your Tech Specialism was on Teachable. I originally got Teachable to launch Get Shit Done Club with my wife, which is a membership that doesn't exist anymore. We did it for a year. And I was finding Teachable so much easier than OptimizePress. Like OptimizePress really got me going, but I was more interested in Teachable for the new things I was creating. And lastly, I was in the process of changing my group program, ConvertKit Rockstars, which I had run twice, into a self-study course ready to launch for Black Friday. So I did the thing that no one does and everyone tells you you cannot do. You can do it. You can do it, my friends. I lowered the price of my membership by 71%. So November 2016, a bunch of stuff happened in ConvertKit Club and in my ConvertKit side of my business. So I lowered the price from $35 a month to $10 a month. People will tell you, you can't do this. It's the worst thing ever. You'll get unhappy people, blah, blah, blah. I did it. I'll talk more about what happened in a moment. Then I also gave everyone on my ConvertKit affiliate link lifetime access to ConvertKit Club for as long as they were a paying ConvertKit user on my affiliate link. So previously, if you signed up on my link, you got a free month of ConvertKit Club. Now you just got ConvertKit Club for free. And I moved ConvertKit Club entirely to Teachable. So this was a really good opportunity for me to go through all the training, tidy some things up, put some things into retirement, and just like go through it all and have a good sort out of what was in there, because it'd been going for over a year at this point and there's just a lot of stuff in there really. And then I also launched ConvertKit Rockstars DIY. So I launched that as a self-study course. The early bird price was $197, but ConvertKit Club members got a $50 discount and 6 months free in ConvertKit Club, which was just the most insane deal for them ever. But that's quite often what happens in my business. I like to think I'm very generous with my people almost. So what happens next? Well, firstly, ConvertKit were not entirely happy about the flood of people wanting my new affiliate bonus and trying to switch their affiliate link to me. So ConvertKit had no policy about this, and if you emailed ConvertKit at the time and said, I'd like to be on Elizabeth Goddard's affiliate link, they would switch you. But they got a flood of emails of people trying to do this because they all wanted ConvertKit Club for free, and they actually had to change their policy, so they had to have signed up in the last 30 days now. So that was fun. I had to manually cancel in Samcart over $1,000 of recurring monthly payments for ConvertKit Club. So I had to go in and click cancel, like this, I don't want to receive this payment anymore, which was quite the experience, let me tell you. And then I also had to ask people nicely to sign back up at $10 a month. So I couldn't, I mean, actually looking back now, there would have been a way to do that in Samcart. Now I know how Samcart works better, but I had to ask them to sign up again, and most of them didn't sign up again. So moving to Teachable allowed me to do a huge cleanup of who had access to what in ConvertKit Club, as it kind of got super messy. Like, I've added friends here and there. Oh, you can have 3 months, and I've just not followed up on it. Like, all this just got super messy. So it was a real fresh start. I had 16 sales of ConvertKit Rockstars DIY, 8 of which were ConvertKit Club members with that $50 discount, which was a lot more people choosing ConvertKit Rockstars than when I'd done like the group program. So by the end of 2017, so a month after all these November changes, I had 22 paying members, and 8 of those paying members were not paying for the next 6 months anyway because they had just bought ConvertKit Rockstars. There weren't only 22 members in ConvertKit Club, because there were lots more, because a huge number of people were on my affiliate link at the time, and I emailed all of them, and a flurry of people joined, like in air quotes, for free because they were on my affiliate link. But I had just 22 paying people, and 8 of those were not paying anytime soon. So my thoughts looking back: do I regret lowering the price, cancelling the recurring payments, and moving to Teachable? And I don't. I really, really don't regret this. It saved ConvertKit Club for me. I'm not sure if ConvertKit Club would have made it if I hadn't have taken these drastic actions. It felt like a complete fresh start, sorry. And it really felt like ConvertKit Club 2.0. And actually I referred to it as ConvertKit Club 2.0. The tag for current ConvertKit Club members is ConvertKit Club 2.0 member. So in terms of like what I did, the customer loyalty and trust that I gained doing this, I think was priceless. So all these people who now got ConvertKit Club for free, sure, they weren't paying me for this, but they've gone on to buy from me in many other ways and work with me in many, many other ways. So I wrote a whole blog post about lowering the price of ConvertKit Club. This is one of the quotes about what someone said at the time. I did miss an opportunity though, and that was promoting the lower price. So I did send an email that I was lowering the price, but I primarily like positioned it about talking about how I was breaking the rules and doing the thing no one did, and I wasn't actually advertising that ConvertKit Club is now only $10 a month. It also all happened in the time ConvertKit Rockstars DIY launched, and I was heavily promoting that. And to be honest, it was all a bit messy and a bit of a missed opportunity, but never really selling ConvertKit Club in and of itself is a very common theme in my business. So Lauren asks, how many people were on your list around this time? Maybe like 700-800, maybe. I've got some more of my list size numbers later, but maybe like 700-800. Because I think I had like 500-600 on when I did ConvertKit Rockstars, so maybe like 700-800. If you post in Team EVG's party pad though, if you would like that number, I can definitely grab it for you at that time. So, okay, moving into 2018 after all these very drastic changes. January 2018, the total revenue I received from ConvertKit Club was $340. Now, bear in mind that in October, it was well over 1,000. This is a huge drop. I do want to say, though, that even though it took a long time for me to build back up that monthly recurring revenue in ConvertKit, many of those people who were paying $35 didn't join again at $10 straight away, but many of them did eventually join ConvertKit Club again. And I don't really know why that was, but it was probably because my energy and attention wasn't in ConvertKit Club just before all the changes. And so why would you then go to the effort of signing back up for something that you've thought is a bit naff recently anyway? So they didn't come back straight away, but many of them did come back later over time. So I spent, again, the start of 2018 focusing on non-ConvertKit things in my business. I did a group coaching program called Collective Momentum. I did several large international business events and retreats. I ran several more guide trainings. These are like paid live trainings on specific topics. Things were really messy at the beginning of 2018. Like, it was a year ago and things were quite messy. I'll be honest about that now. My energy got really scatty. So I had been proudly teaching, like fast launching, like doing things quickly and fast. And that had worked very well to me, but it just got a bit messy, if I'm honest. I had a few very big money wobbles. Things happened outside my control. And basically, looking back at early 2018, it just kind of got really messy for a bit. So the 2nd of April, I joined Stu McLaren's Tribe course on the day Cart closed. Now, I just want to clarify here that I joined Tribe in the thick of this mess. This slide makes it look like I joined Tribe after the mess, but I joined Tribe in the mess. Like, the mess continued well into April, May, the messiness of my life at that time. Messiness of my life, my business. So yeah, on the 2nd of April, I went from 0 to signing up for Tribe, which is a $2,000 course, in about 8 hours. I wasn't previously on his list. I hadn't watched any of his super fancy pre-launch content. I just signed up. So what happened to cause me to sign up? Someone I really like and respect sent a really heartfelt email to her list about why she loved Tribe and why she was a proud affiliate for it. At this point, Emma, who's my wife, and I already knew we were planning to adopt in the near future. And I'd already had a bit of a glimpse at like the power of membership sites and the recurring revenue that they could bring, but I never really focused my attention on it. So I could see the potential there. I also had 2 long-term ongoing like VA clients at the time. I didn't really do VA work for either of them at the point, but I had 2 very long-term ongoing clients who had both coincidentally taken Tribe the year before, and I'd helped both of them a lot with their membership. So it felt really helpful to learn about memberships from who they're learning about memberships from. So for me, signing up for Tribe was a commitment to continue to include memberships as an income stream in my business. I had vague plans at the time to start like a new 2nd membership. And I also wanted to seriously improve ConvertKit Club and take it up a notch. I also seem to remember that he had some sort of very generous refund policy. So if I'd made a horrible mistake signing up so spontaneously, it hopefully was not going to be the end of the world. So I signed up. So Tribe, which is this course, was hands down, honestly, like the best course experience I've ever had. Watching the live module Q&As and the newly released module was the absolute highlight of my week. I set it aside in my calendar. I sat down on the sofa. We watched it on the TV. My wife and I watched it on the TV. I took loads of notes. I don't behave like that in courses. And considering this was such a large course, like I've done other big courses. I've done B School. I've done other things like this where you're just one of many. And the way it was structured and the experience was just, I don't know, like I just loved it. It was so good. And the energy of the course and the Facebook group, and you kind of just got carried along with it. And I can't, you just sort of feel like you're moving towards your membership and your like successful membership, and everyone's just on this journey together. And it was a really, really, really good course. So that was April, May time. So GDPR. Who remembers GDPR? Who still hates GDPR? So GDPR happened in May 2018. It was about halfway through me doing the Tribe course. And so many people wanted to know how to add checkboxes to ConvertKit forms so that they could, in their mind, be GDPR compliant. And they just generally wanted to know how to be GDPR compliant in ConvertKit. And I created a collection of tutorials that showed what was like technically possible in ConvertKit, along with important implications of that. No legal advice, just like here's what you need to know and what you might need to know, and here's what that actually means in practice. So naturally, I put this training into ConvertKit Club, as I do for all sorts of trainings like that. But I also decided to offer it standalone for $29, which is something I've done with many others of my ConvertKit Club trainings, which I already said. But this time I tried something a little bit different than my messy upsells. I had two options on the checkout page. The first option was get access by GDPR and ConvertKit tutorials for $29. So you get access, that's it, you have them, there you go. The second option was join ConvertKit Club for $10 a month and get those GDPR tutorials, dozens of other trainings, and my support in the private Facebook group for ConvertKit Club. And this just took off. Like this, I just made so many sales in May. Like everyone and their dog wanted to buy these GDPR tutorials. I've never seen anything like it in my business. Like the sales just kept coming, and quite a lot of other people very smartly created similar trainings for the tech systems they were good at and sort of like almost copied this model, but many of them didn't have memberships to also upsell them into. So by the end of May, I had made 70 sales of the standalone tutorials. 36 people had joined ConvertKit Club right there on the GDPR tutorials checkout page. 29 people joined ConvertKit Club off the main sales page. At this time, someone also accidentally managed, I don't know if they're going to watch this training, but someone managed to accidentally join ConvertKit Club 11 times in like 3 minutes. That's not included in this number. 29 people, that was her once, but it was a crazy few minutes when I don't know what happened, it glitched. And then I also had 8 people join on the Tripwire. So I had an offer on my Tripwire page, which is the thank you page immediately after someone signs up for your list. And most of those people had like found me on a GDPR related blog post about ConvertKit that I had done. So at the beginning of May, I had 60 paying members. By the end of May, I had 127 paying members. So here I was, having just doubled my membership by a stroke of good luck and some good business decisions. And I was halfway through implementing a course about memberships. And I'm just like, what am I going to do? Like, this is crazy. So it was time to implement what I had learned for my newly doubled in size membership. So on the eve of GDPR, so I actually did this toward 23rd March, May. When was GDPR? May. Why is that not like ingrained in my brain? May. 23rd of May. On the eve of GDPR, I announced more changes to ConvertKit Club. So I announced a new, better structure to the trainings, including clearly defined stages to work through. I announced a better structure to like what's included in ConvertKit Club each month. So a monthly Facebook Live training session, a monthly Facebook Live Q&A, a monthly 90-minute co-working session on Zoom. If you're currently in ConvertKit Club, this will all sound very familiar. And I also said that I was going to like run this new structure for a few months, and then I was going to do my first ever proper ConvertKit Club launch and close the doors for a little bit. More on that in a moment. So I announced some more changes. I was implementing what I had been learning in Tribe because I really wanted to keep some of these as many of these new members as possible. Like I wanted them to stay, because the fear for me was that they had just bought the cheaper option to get those GDPR tutorials and they'd all leave after a month. So I wanted to keep them to stay. So my first proper ConvertKit Club launch. So 24th of June, I announced that doors would be closing to ConvertKit Club for the first time on the 3rd of July. And when they reopened, the price was going to have doubled to $20 a month. And I also offered an annual membership option for the first time. But then on the 1st of July, it happened, the name change happened. Now, depending on how much you know about ConvertKit, how long you've been in the ConvertKit world, on the 1st of July, ConvertKit announced with no warning to anyone at all that they were changing their name to Sever. And I was at the cinema, I did a whole thing about it. It was 2 days before I was due to close ConvertKit Club doors for the first time. This was my first ConvertKit Club launch, really. And it was not fun. Like, I just kept getting these waves of realization about how badly this was going to fuck up my business, because I have ConvertKit Club, the domain, or my Google SEO is good for ConvertKit because I have been doing ConvertKit stuff for so long. Like everything, like my SAM cart is ConvertKit Club. Oh, that's an example. My SAM cart is in the name ConvertKit Club because I was so sure that I was going to be, ConvertKit Club was going to be my thing. So if you buy anything from me through SamCart, it's going to say ConvertKit Club in the URL. So I couldn't do much at the time beyond send emails and kind of just be like, the name's changing, but I'm still the best person to learn from. We'll get through it together. Oh, it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. But I made lemonade. I made some lemonade. So I got 48 new members from the main sales page, 10 new members on the Tripwire, and 27 annual members. Some were existing members who like upgraded to an annual. And then, so I closed the doors. I closed the doors at the beginning of July. Then, right at the end of July, ConvertKit announced that they were not going to change their name to Sever. And that was great. So, but the month of July was truly, truly horrible for so many reasons for that. But anyway, they didn't change the name. It was just the worst launch thing to happen ever. At the end of August, I did a 48-hour flash doors open at the new price of $20 a month. So and then I closed it again. So by the end of September 2018, I had 245 paying members. Some of these were now on the $20 a month. Not many, but some. Now, just want to say here that in April 2018, I had 54 paying members. So I had more than quadrupled, yes, well over more than quadrupled, the number of members I had in May, June, July, August, September, like 4 or 5 months, more than quadrupled. Now, I forget the exact number. I could look it up. I tried to look it up, but it wasn't an easy number to find. But around this time, so around like July, August, about a quarter of my list was in ConvertKit Club. So I had maybe 1,200 people on my list. So this is 245 paying members. I had 80 more people in there for free on my affiliate link, and some other people too. Like, it was really big. It still is. It's still similar size. But around a quarter of the people on my list were in ConvertKit Club. So I just want to emphasize that, because so many people think that if you have a smaller list, memberships are harder, and memberships are a numbers game. But if you have the right offer and you market it correctly and it's irresistible for your people, then they will buy it. Like right now, I want to say over half, no, it's not over. Nearly half my list have given me money at some point. Like, that's like a crazy conversion rate, almost like a percentage. Like, a lot of people are like 1 or 2% is good, and I'm just like, no, a quarter of them are in my membership, like, and I don't have like a 10-person list, you know. Anyway, okay, so there's one more final big change. In July 2018, I closed doors to ConvertKit Club for the first time. Why? Because Stu McLaren in the Tribe course primarily teaches a closed membership model where you do bigger launches like a few times a year. You open the doors, do a big launch, and then you close the doors again. And in October 2018, so this was like after I finished Tribe, after things had died down, I joined MemberSite Academy, which is a membership site about membership sites. And they primarily teach more of an open membership model where people can join all year round, like it's always open. So late October, I decided to, quite quietly, common theme, reopen ConvertKit Club. So I wrote a big thing about this at the time that I want to kind of like share with you now, but why did I decide to do this? So as I dug into the MemberSite Academy training, which is really good, I'm a proud affiliate for both Tribe and MemberSite Academy. I think they have different like slants on them. I really started to ask myself, why did I close doors to ConvertKit Club and switch to the closed launch model? Like, why did I do that? My membership had quadrupled, so surely closing the doors had worked. But if I thought about it, there were actually two big influxes of people. The first was during GDPR, when doors were still open. Before, during, and after GDPR, doors were still open. And then secondly, when I closed the doors at the beginning of July, that was the second big influx. But when I closed the doors at the beginning of July, I also said the price would be doubling when they reopened. So did people join because it was closing, or did people join because the price was doubling? I'd also used to have a tripwire offer. So you get ConvertKit Club for your first month for a much lower price on the thank you page of my freebies. And that converted super well. So that was a constant trickle of new people joining ConvertKit Club. They also just joined from the sales page, from affiliates. So they were trickling in when it was open. And I didn't have that anymore because I'd closed it. I mean, this sounds obvious, but you know, this was my thought process at the time. So I went back and I watched the section in Tribe to try and see why I'd decided to close the doors. Because I'd followed what Stu taught in Tribe. So Stu kind of says that if people don't have a reason to buy right now, they don't buy. And if you want an open model, you need to do like mini launches every month to give people a reason to buy. But I knew that wasn't true. Like, that hadn't been my experiences when I had it open. People trickled in all the time. People buy because they have a problem that I can solve with my resources and support in ConvertKit Club. So yeah, I tried closing the doors to ConvertKit Club, And it felt great initially because loads of people joined. But I can't be sure they joined because the doors were closing. I don't know what the cause and effect was there. And another thing about the open close thing, I want to be able to support people in ConvertKit Club whenever they need support. I don't want them to go somewhere else and learn from someone else and take someone else's course because my doors are closed, sorry. And I also want my affiliates to be able to share with their friends all the time. It's really very much what I teach for affiliate marketing. So I have a course on affiliate marketing, which is the one with the sloth. And I wanted people to be able to share my affiliate link all the time. And also, I don't really like big launches. I've never really done them very well. And my whole marketing style is being helpful often. I create valuable content and resources which would obviously naturally feed into something like joining ConvertKit Club, either right now or in the future. So yes, I opened the doors again. Take a sip of water. So Brittany's commented, and it's so true. I feel like people ignore natural urgency so much. Needing to figure out this tool they're paying for is enough urgency for you to not need anything else. That makes total sense. Yeah. Kat said, I get as much value from the ConvertKit Club Facebook group as I do from being in ConvertKit Club membership. One really helps support and balance the other. Yeah. Okay, so my thoughts looking back on this. Do I regret closing the doors? I really don't. I really, really don't regret closing the doors. I needed to go through that process for myself to really understand and learn what was best for me and what was best for my business. I don't think there's anything wrong with the closed membership model. I really don't. It works very well for a lot of people, but both models work. And I've adapted what I learned in Tribe to a way of doing things with an open model that's really working well for me now. And the closed launch model bit is like only a tiny bit of Tribe that I almost not over focused on, but I followed everything, not to the letter, because I never do that, but I followed what he was teaching. And part of that was the open model, and I didn't question it at the time, but the process has been, I'm so much more sure about what I think now because I've almost been through that process and I've tried the closed model for me. So memberships aren't about big launches, like big launches in the closed model or new members in the open model. They're actually about retention and keeping members happy and paying month after month. And membership success is in the long game. Like, it can be very exciting to get a lot of new members in quickly. And I did that when I had the open model, even with GDPR. But the success is in the long game. So I'm gonna take a sip because we're moving. That's the end of the ConvertKit Club story. We're here now. At the time of recording this, it's over $2,500 a month, if you wanted to know that. I have about 350 members, about the same number are paying maybe, but I haven't really promoted it since whenever I last promoted it or opened door, I don't know. That's roughly where we're at right now. Okay, so how I run my 350 people membership without a team. I had no idea how to phrase this slide. So I'm like, how do I run my 350 membership, 350 I tried a lot. So this is what I went with, and I hope that's okay with you. So I just want to be upfront and honest with you here. I know a lot of you are probably here for this section of the training. I do not have a team. I don't outsource anything in my business right now, but I do have a wife. And my wife is a tech VA, and she works from home, and she is available as and when I need her to help me with things. So the thing she does help me with, which I just want to be super transparent about, many of the emails I write to my list, more considered posts, tricky emails to reply to, all that sort of stuff, she will read through before I hit send or publish. So that pretty much is the only support and help I get, which is tiny. And if I didn't have her doing it, I would still send the things and I would still hit publish. There would just be a fraction more typos. But I'm usually pretty good. Okay, so getting this running well has been a lot of trial and error, and it's an ever evolving process. So towards the end of last year, so 2018, I realized I really, really, really didn't want to grow a team for my business. So many things in my business weren't optimized for me, because I sort of had this feeling that eventually, inevitably, I'd outsource some of these things, and then I'd have to change up how I was doing them anyway. Because that's what everyone says, you'll eventually grow a team and you'll eventually hire people and they'll do these things for you, and that's what everyone says. So I really believed that like someone sometime was going to come in and save me and organize me and do all these things. And towards the end of last year, I really embraced that I don't have or want a team. And I've actually started to massively optimize things for me now. So I make decisions based on, is this going to help me in the short and medium term, me, as opposed to, could I write standard operating procedures for this, or could someone else do this for me? Like, I don't consider that as I'm setting things up. So if you are planning or have a team, some of these things you're going to need to navigate getting them optimal for you and your team. But that's where I'm at right now, and that's how I'm running it. All these things are optimized 100% for me. Customer service. So these are out of order. Oh, that's stressful. Oh no. Okay, so I direct all ConvertKit related questions into the Facebook group. If you send me an email and you're a ConvertKit Club member and it's got a question about ConvertKit in it, I have a standard reply that I nearly always send that basically says, hey, can you post this in ConvertKit Club Facebook group? I don't offer like private support in ConvertKit Club. I have live chat. Chatra is the one I love. I've got a blog post all about that, which I can share when I send out the recording. So I have live chat kind of like everywhere I can in my business. I have it on my websites, so both elizabethgoddard.co.uk and convertkitclub.com. I have it on my Samcart checkout pages. I have it in Teachable as well, where all the content and courses are. And I love it. People can pop in their questions and stuff super easily if they need any help. People can, sorry, Kat's just said I really need to stop trying to highlight Lizzie's screen to copy and paste. Oh dear, I'll have to send you my slides afterwards. I'll include the slides with the recording if that will help you. So I use live chat and Chatra. This is incredible for so much customer service. So even if I'm not like online, people can pop in their questions super easily. I can see which page they were on. I can reply very easily via email. It just keeps it all together and super helpful. When I am live though, it blows people's minds that I'm actually there. Like the number one question I get on my live chat is it really you? Are you really there? And when I say, yes, it's really me, I'm really here, people friggin' love it. Like there is so little personal interaction in so many online businesses these days as you outsource and automate and all of this. And if you can add the personal interaction with you, it really, really impresses people. So that's a thing I can do easily in my business still actually at the moment. People ask questions like, oh, do you take this card? Oh, do you take PayPal? Oh, I'm struggling to log in. And I'm like, yes, because you've got a typo in your email address, and then I can fix that for them straight away in Teachable. And yeah, so live chat is an absolute lifesaver, both when I'm on live and when people leave me messages. The next thing, I have saved responses for everything. So I use a Google extension called Gorgias. I think I pay like $5 a month. There is a free version, but I pay $5 a month, so it syncs across my laptop and computer and all the places that I am. So I have saved responses for when someone wants to cancel, when someone's got failed payments, when someone's asking me a question and I need them to post it in the group, when someone needs to start paying after their 6 months free ConvertKit Rockstars. If I have said the same message twice to 2 different people, it pretty much goes as a template into Gorgias. And I need to record a video about how Gorgias works, because I used to use Gmail's canned responses and I hated it. I always used to overwrite the saved messages and I just absolutely hated it. And now I use Gorgias and I love it so much. So I need to do a video about that. Cancellations. Now, this is a really big one as a no team membership, because it means I have to deal with all my cancellations. Now, a lot of people, when they have teams supporting them, they can almost like outsource cancellations and they don't have to deal with it so much. But I have to personally deal with all cancellations. Now, to cancel a ConvertKit Club membership, you have to email me and I have to manually cancel in Samcart. I don't get in a fuss about this. I don't try and convince them to stay. I don't ask them why they're leaving. I don't anything. If someone wants to cancel, I have my automated reply, like my saved response that just says, thanks, like not a problem at all. I've gone ahead and cancelled for you. You'll have continued access through to whatever date. Please do let me know if there's anything else I can help you with in future. That's it. Now, there's lots more I could do. I could have a form. Why did they cancel? I could, you know, explain to them what's going to happen. They're going to lose their grandfathered rate. All of this. I could do all of that, but I don't, because I don't want to spend my energy on people who want to leave. And many people who want to leave have very good reasons why they want to leave. For example, they're not using ConvertKit anymore and then they're free to go. Sometimes people tell me why they're leaving as they're leaving. So I'd like to cancel because. Sometimes people say very nice things as they're cancelling. Sometimes people send very, very abrupt, blunt emails. And I'm just like, oh, did you not realize that I'm actually a human who created this thing that you are just being a bit rude about now? Whatever it is, I just go with it and I just send them the email and I just cancel. And it doesn't stress me out at all. I mean, if I get like 3 cancellations in a day, that hurts a bit, but it's not personally about those people. It's just, oh, what is the universe doing today? So when they cancel, what I do is I go into Samcart, I click into it, I click cancel, so that's all cancelled. Then I grab the date that they are like paid up to, so I can see when the next payment date was going to be. And I see when the next payment date was going to be. And then, like you can see on this screenshot, so on Sunday the 19th of May, I need to remove this fuzzed out email address from the Facebook group, from Teachable, and from sort out the ConvertKit tags. So, you know, maybe 1 person a week I've got to deal with. And just when I see them up there, that's when I deal with them on that day. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't like batch removing them or anything. I literally just nip in and do it on those days. Sometimes, you know, it's a few days later because I just haven't got around to it, but I put them in red. I can see it nice and clear. This is my entire life calendar, if you hadn't guessed by the fact that it says Derby Vegan Market, and then the other market underneath is about another vegan market. So that really is my entire life calendar. Had one other thing to say about cancellations. I don't remember. I don't make a fuss. Oh, I know what it was. Sometimes, no, it came and went. It was something I've got in the saved responses. Oh yes, sometimes people will ask for refunds when payments go out. I have a separate saved response that basically just reiterates the policy, which is that I don't offer refunds after the first month. Sometimes if they're being funky about that though, I might just refund them to make my life easier. Don't make a fuss. That's my advice. Just put on your big girl pants and deal with some of this stuff. Joan has asked, are you on the free chapter plan? I'm not on the free chapter plan. I have the paid chapter plan in the blog post, which if you're lucky, someone might put in the chat. Someone could possibly find it and put it in the chat. I explain the differences between the features that I use and love on the free plan and the paid plan. Okay, failed payments. So Samcart tries to charge them 3 times. If the payments fail, after those 3 times, they go delinquent in Samcart. Maybe once a week, I look at who's delinquent, if anybody. Thanks, Blair, for putting the link in. Maybe once a week, I look at who's delinquent, and I have a saved response, and I just email them, and I'm like, Samcart's tried to take payment 3 times. We haven't had payment from this date. I don't use we. It's all I. There's no we. I don't know why I said we. I only ever implied as me because there's no one else. And we tried to take payments and they fail 3 times, but I know you might not have got the emails from Samcart. If you would like to be a member, blah, 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 please let me know by this date, blah, 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 otherwise I'll remove you, totally fine, blah, 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 let me know if you've got any questions, blah, blah, blah. So I do that maybe once a week. A lot of this I just do when I feel like it, to be honest, because I'm in my Samcart and my ConvertKit and my calendar's always open all the time anyway. Boomerang. So Boomerang is another Google extension that I use sometimes. So sometimes things will happen and I'm kind of like, oh, I need to remember about this in like 2 months. So sometimes I'll put things in my calendar and sometimes I'll boomerang the emails back to like deal with in future. So it's not a now thing, but I'm just like, oh, future me can deal with this, or future me needs to remember this, and I'll boomerang it back. So that's quite useful. And the other thing I'd say about customer service is I generally prioritize like existing member emails over most other things. So I kind of joke, because of how many things I've got going on in my business, it's really hard. It's really hard to hire me. It's really hard to like get me to look at, you want to invite me to a summit or be on your podcast or any of those sorts of things, or, whatever it is. Like, it's really hard to get me to like pay attention to that and reply to those emails. But I'm very clear that if someone is if you can get me to agree to do something, or if you can get to be my client or be in club or something like that, then you are my priority. So my priority is always for existing and not for new. And I think some people have that the other way around, and that can be a really big problem. So I deal with ConvertKit Club people and other clients and other people who give me money a lot more highly than people who want to give me money, which is the way around I do it, and it works for me. So, question I get quite a lot, content and delivery. Let's talk about content and delivery. So again, super straightforward. At the beginning of every month, I schedule the Facebook Live training, the Q&A, and the co-working session for the following month. So like tomorrow, I will schedule these dates up for June. I put them in the ConvertKit Club Google Calendar, so they're like duplicated from actually my calendar, just in Google. And I also create the events on Facebook by duplicating the old events, nothing fancy. This whole task takes maybe 15 minutes. I do that at the beginning of every month. And then at the beginning of every month, I also schedule the 15-minute reminder emails in ConvertKit for the coming month's events. So tomorrow I will do May's 15-minute reminder emails, and I will do June's, like scheduling in the training, the Q&A, and the co-working. Again, for the ConvertKit emails, I literally just duplicate from the previous emails. Yeah, I just batch them. It takes 5-10 minutes. So both of those tasks take like 30 minutes tops together, probably less. That's once a month. I don't create trainings on a schedule. I don't promise monthly trainings or anything like that. They happen randomly. So obviously the monthly Facebook Live training, I have to prep for that, but I usually just prep for that like a day or two before. And I'll talk more about this, but I'm talking about things that I find very easy. Like, it's not a lot of work to prep for a ConvertKit Club Facebook Live training, because it's my thing. It's what like I know about and stuff. I don't create like the mini courses and stuff I create. They happen when they happen. Sometimes you'll get 3 new mini courses in a month, and then sometimes months will go past and I won't create like a cohesive course. It really, really just depends. Oh, one thing that's not on here actually, after the Facebook Live training, I download it from Facebook, upload it into Teachable, done. That's that bit done. Takes like 5 minutes. The bit that takes a long time is the downloading when the internet's slow. If someone needs a little training from me, so that's like things that go in the video training library, so little teeny things, that will, well, if it takes me less than like 10 minutes, I'll do it straight away, or on the same day. Things that take a little longer, or I need to like set up stuff in my test account, those go on the to-do list. And that's the gist of it for content and delivery. It kind of just goes with what I feel like and when I get it put in. I've tried being on a strict schedule, did not work for me at all. Facebook group. Someone had a question about the Facebook group. Laren said, you're super active in the Facebook group. How many hours a week do you imagine it requires? Okay, I'll answer that in a sec. So, Facebook group. I try to systematically check this at least once a day. Usually it's way more. So Facebook, if you hadn't guessed, is pretty much always open all the time when I'm doing anything, pretty much. It's closed right now. That is quite unusual. When I'm doing like a bigger check of the posts, I really try not to leave any question unanswered. So sometimes, like, you know, like I'll go through all of them and I'm like, right, everything should be answered now. Occasionally if it's been a little while since I've done a full check and comment, sometimes I'll post that I should have now answered everything, but let me know if I missed anything. Facebook's funky, sometimes I miss things. It's not a big deal. People just retag me and that's cool. Sometimes I do feel a little bad that I've replied to one post but not another yet. But some posts are much easier to reply to than others. Some require links, and if I'm on my phone, or some, you know, need me to type out something longer, I need to be on my computer. So I feel a little bad sometimes. I don't, probably no one even notices, but you know, sometimes there'll be 3 posts and I'll answer one of them, and then maybe like the next day I'll answer the other 2. I feel a bit bad, but it happens. There's a few day of the week posts that automatically send from my social media scheduler. So I use Social Bee, which was got from an AppSumo deal. It's like SmarterQueue or Meet Edgar or any of those. So there's like Wednesday, share your stuff. Sunday, self-care Sunday, like what are you doing in your non-business life on Sunday? Friday, how many new members, subscribers did you get? So that kind of thing. And then I post other things as and when I feel like it or want to. So observations, things I've just learned, discovered, new videos I've recorded, polls, new features. Like I just post when I need to post. There's nothing more to it than that. Other things that go into running ConvertKit Club, I send postable cards to all new members now. If you're in ConvertKit Club, you might have received one. I haven't, not everyone in Club has received them. But if you sign up for ConvertKit Club now, you will get a card in the post. It's not a handwritten card by me, but it looks handwritten, which actually really confuses people. It really confuses people that it looks handwritten. So I have the most awesome automation set up for this. Basically, if someone buys, Zapier puts their address into ConvertKit and it sends me, and then they go into this ConvertKit visual automation that says, have they already been sent a card? And if no, then they get tagged, they need to be sent a card, and that triggers an email being sent to me through Zapier to be like, hey, this person needs a card. It's a super awesome process. I set it up and I was like, oh my gosh, I've literally outdone myself with this geniusness. But when someone buys, probably 5-10 minutes later, I get an email with their full name, their full address, their email address, and the text that I need to then copy and paste into Postable. Then I go into Postable, I put in, copy and paste, all blah, 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 all of that. It takes 4 minutes, maybe, to get that new card out to that new member. I used to do them once a month at the end of the month, but it was taking too long. Sometimes people have cancelled before they got their card. It just wasn't working. So now I've automated it as much as humanly possible, and I just need to copy and paste a few things into Postable. If you have got a card and you liked it, there is so much heart and love sent with those cards. Like, I don't want to like overkill how easy it is for me to do. The fact I do it is the love and appreciation, and I think they're super fun. So don't feel like, oh, it was actually really easy and she doesn't care. I do care. I couldn't personally send those cards from the UK. They'd never get to most people. But anyway, yeah, so the Postable cards go out. I'm pretty scatty still, so there are lots of Post-it notes. There are lots of Google Calendar notes. There are lots of Google Tasks. Like, there's thoughts and stuff and things about ConvertKit Club literally everywhere. It's a bit of a mess. It's okay. We all muddle along. I now have a good onboarding sequence. So there's a series of 6 or 7 emails that send out, I think, over a couple of months for new members, which kind of conveys some key messages and some prompts people along. So a good onboarding sequence, that's all automated. That's really good now. I'm very generous with my time, and I think this really helps me run ConvertKit Club in a way that doesn't take much time. So I just put including 30-minute calls in here. So like I say below, I'm super clear on my boundaries, but sometimes just giving someone who is a ConvertKit Club member who's having a problem with something a link to book a 30-minute call with me so we can just go over it and I can help them. Like, the goodwill that that generates is worth it. It is worth the time it takes. And sometimes it takes me longer than if I just got on a call with them, this back and forth, you know? So I don't do this very often, but being generous with my time, I really think saves me a lot of time when it comes to ConvertKit Club. I just want to clarify, I don't distinguish at all between people who pay me directly and people who get ConvertKit Club for free from being signed up to my ConvertKit affiliate link. So I don't distinguish at all. There is no hierarchy. There is no tier. Absolutely no one in ConvertKit Club, in my mind, is above anyone else in ConvertKit Club. I'm as helpful as possible while still trying to maintain boundaries. So I have some almost like personal policies for about how I do it, and it's just, I'm as helpful as possible whilst maintaining my boundaries. And this one's going to sound super woo, but hear me out. I've decided that ConvertKit Club gets to be easy for me. I actually have Decide tattooed on my ankle after a retreat in Bali with Amanda Francis. So I decide that ConvertKit Club gets to be easy for me. I am being paid to do what I love to do, which is help people with ConvertKit. And I've structured ConvertKit Club in a way that feels really manageable for me. None of this takes much time. So I spend maybe 20-30 minutes a day between the Facebook group and any customer service type stuff, maybe. Many days I don't do anything much. If I'm out for the day, I'm out for the day, and that's not a big deal. It's often less than that. Like it's broken up throughout the day, but it's all stuff that's super easy, so it doesn't feel like doing stuff anyway. But I really want to emphasize again that these are things I find easy and enjoyable. One of the things that can really weigh us down as online business owners is knowing that there's always more to do. More marketing to do, more training to do, more content to do, more blogs to write, more videos to record. Like, there's always more. And I feel very at peace with what I do for ConvertKit Club and that it's enough. I'm clear on the value and support I provide for my members. I manage their expectations clearly. And like I said, I let it be easy. I don't make a big fuss about anything in ConvertKit Club, and none of it is never really caused me any stress in that way. So for the final part of this training, that's everything, all my top tips about running Just Me. the final part of the training, I want to share with you some things I have found surprising about memberships. So, aside from ConvertKit Club, I've also previously run 2 other membership type things. For about a year, my wife and I ran something called Get Shit Done Club, which was co-working and tech trainings. And that was $20 a month. And I also ran something called Collective Momentum, which was kind of like a broader online business group coaching mastermind membership thing, and that was $200 a month. So both were very successful in their own way, but for different reasons I closed both of them. They just weren't coming with me at the point that they got closed. That's fine. They weren't coming into the new whatever I was doing with my business. So I've also been extremely involved in the behind the scenes of 3 larger membership sites that belong to clients I've worked with. So I've done strategy with them, planning, website building. So I've built membership sites for people, launches, both initially and opening doors in the closed model, and also a lot of ongoing maintenance. So the first thing, membership sites. This one, let's pretend that slide's not there. This one. Membership sites are a very different beast to other types of online businesses. So a membership is not a course, and you're going to find everything unnecessarily harder if you try to treat a membership like a course. A membership is not a course. Things that are super different between memberships and courses include messaging, so how you're positioning yourself and what you're saying and why they should join. The motivations of customers, so the reasons they join, and more importantly for memberships, the reasons they stay. Launching is quite different. Pricing considerations, the relationship between your membership and other products and services you sell and offer. Your mindset, more on this later. There's no more on this later. Maybe there's more on this later. I'm not sure. The perceived value that your customers have. So you could package everything I could package everything in ConvertKit Club as a course, and people would perceive the value as much higher monetary than they do the membership. So perceived value. Engagement will be super different, and you will need to nurture engagement differently. And maintenance, both in terms of the time and effort it takes to deliver the course or the membership. So these are differences. They're not necessarily easier or harder things. They are just real differences. I've just really learned that if you've created and launched a few successful courses or digital products, you might get a bit of a shock if you take those exact same strategies and translate them to creating or launching a membership. So memberships are a different beast. So the second thing, and I really passionately believe this one, it's not all about the content. So when I say this, it's not all about the content, people usually have one of 2 reactions. The first thing they say is, are you sure? Memberships always felt like super hard work to keep creating new content every single month. This is quite a relief to hear. So people think that memberships sound like hard work because you've got to create a lot of content. And then the other response you sometimes get when I say it's not all about the content is, oh, I was considering starting a membership so that I can focus on creating content, which is what I love to do most of all. So some people want to be all about the content, and some people are horrified at the prospect of having to create all that content. So when I first launched ConvertKit Club, I promised a brand new training every month. And for the first 4 or 5 months, that was all good. But then life got busy, and a month or 2 went past, and I didn't create any new trainings. I felt really bad about this. Not bad enough to create the trainings, I might add, but I did feel bad about it. But no one complained. No one said anything. And retention rates, so the number of members who stayed each month, stayed about the same. So eventually, after a few months, I did release a new training. And then I remember so vividly, like a week later, I could see that only a couple of people had logged in to the membership site to look at this particular training. And I was just like, oh, oh, it's not about the content. People aren't here and aren't paying every month for the content. So memberships can be super successful even if you don't keep feeding them brand new content month after month. Most people don't need new content. People need support to overcome the obstacles or barriers to achieve their goals. Like, it's really not about the content. They can be super low effort. So membership sites definitely aren't some magic bullet for recurring revenue, but they can be a lot lower effort than some other things you could be doing in your business. So it depends a lot on your personality type and what you find to be high or low effort. So for example, I could answer questions about ConvertKit on Facebook all day long. It's super easy for me. I can do it on my phone wherever I am, unless I have to go get a link or something. But creating a full training on something, that's going to take a lot more effort for me. But for someone else, it could be completely the other way around. They could love creating the trainings or doing Facebook Lives or whatever it is. And then they could really find it difficult to just answer silly little questions all day long. So whatever you find easiest and most like joyful in your business, chances are you can build a membership that really plays to that and really focuses on allowing you to do that. So one thing I would encourage you to think about for this is, what was the original reason you started your business in the first place? Like, what is it you were hoping to do and help people, and through what medium were you hoping to do it? Because the chances are that is what you find easiest in your business, that vision you had of what you'd spend your time doing, and it may well be possible that you can create a membership site around doing that. If you're building a if you're building a membership based on shoulds, so I should do this, I should offer this many Q&As, I should put in trainings, there should be a Facebook group, all these shoulds, that's where you're going to start to run into trouble with memberships. And your whole business, actually, shoulds are not good. So there are different types of memberships, and this follows on from number 3, but there are lots of different types of successful membership models. It's not just like a one and done. So the standard one we see online, regular trainings, Facebook groups, some calls, that kind of thing. But some of the most common types are content focused. So you really are basically just getting content each month. There are successful memberships like that. Community focused, so being in there with other people. Convenience focused, so people will pay for convenience. So I am in a membership called #File Society, and she just gives me good hashtags every single month for Instagram. Hashtags I can use for Instagram. And it's so convenient. I don't have to check the hashtags because that's what she does. So convenience, people will pay for that. More like coaching or accountability focused. What I call like back pocket support. So a lot of people in ConvertKit Club pay month after month. I don't hear a peep out of them. I know they're not looking at the trainings. They don't come to the live events. It's fine. But then something will happen in their ConvertKit account, and they'll be mid-launch or something horribly will go wrong, and they will post in Club. I will answer quickly, and they will feel very happy that they are a ConvertKit Club member and they had me there in their back pocket when they needed me. And then another common model is access, which is access to you as the expert in this area. So my one-to-one rates at the moment, $400 plus to work with me in any one-to-one capacity. But you can join ConvertKit Club for $20 and get my brain in a small way on your business. So all types of different memberships can lead to successful memberships. You just want to be super clear from the start what your focus is and not get too distracted from that by trying to offer loads of different things. So you want to focus on like, what is your thing? And that leads me nicely on to number 5. You need to know like your unique selling point. So what is the one thing about your membership that only your membership offers? So knowing this makes the competition irrelevant because there is no competition if what you're offering is unique. So your membership's USP could be anything, direct access to you because there's only one you, curated content in a very specific way, a laser focused niche, time saving resources. Like, I think, like, certainly in the B2B space, so many people have memberships that are just like about growing your business, and it's quite general. And there are lots like that, and you have to be super clear on what is your membership. Why does someone have to join yours, and why, if they leave, can they not get what you're offering anywhere else? One thing I love about memberships, you can launch quickly and change later. So I'm 100% living proof of this, if you haven't realized. I launched very quickly. I had no idea what I was doing. It looked probably super messy, and I have changed up how it looks so many times. So I don't want you to stress about creating a membership that's like fixed in stone. The evolution of you and your business and your membership is inevitable, and you can embrace that and let future you handle future you problems. So this is just like a mindset thing I do when I'm getting stressed about something that might happen or will happen in the future. I just let future me deal with that, because future me is going to be far better equipped to deal with it than current me. Okay, 7 to 11, or we'll be here all night. I just realized this was getting ridiculous. Memberships can be super duper duper low tech. You can just have a Facebook group. That could be a membership. You could have a password protected page. That could be a membership. There are so many ways to do it, and you don't, like, tech should not be a reason to not do a membership. Most members don't really engage, and it's really weird. So I've heard that around 10% of your members will be like active in your membership. You'll have like 1 or 2% will be super active, and then like 10% will be fairly active. And that's really weird. So I've got 350 members. I'll do a Q&A. I'll email 15 minutes before the Q&A, and I might have 4 people on the Q&A with me. It's really weird. For a long time, I almost like didn't trust that people are going to stay when they're not coming to the things. But I like offering the things, and people join memberships for different reasons than they stay in the membership. So they might be like, oh, a Q&A a month, that sounds great, I'll make use of that. Now, that got them to join, but then they actually realize that they get a different sort of support once they're in there, and then they don't come to the Q&As. It's not a problem, it's just really weird, and it takes some getting used to when you're like, people are paying, why aren't they engaging? Number 9, the repurposing potential for your membership and other areas of your business is massive. So things you create for your membership, you can sell outside your membership. Things you have created outside your membership, you can put into your membership. There's so much repurposing potential, and I barely tapped into this with ConvertKit Club, but a membership will often seamlessly slot into everything else you're doing without adding a huge amount of extra work. Number 10, depending on what you currently offer in your business and what you sell, a slightly different audience than the one you expect might want your membership, or a slightly different audience than one you've currently got might want your membership. So memberships usually attract, it depends what type of membership it is, but usually attract more DIY or like a done with you audience. And some people may still absolutely want to pay more for your done for you. So sometimes you kind of feel like, sometimes you might feel like you're creating a membership and you're like, this is so affordable, this is so great, why doesn't everyone want to join? And there are many people out there who don't want to do it for themselves or do it in that membership model. Some people prefer joining courses, even if that's similar stuff to what's in your membership. Some people will want to work with you like one-to-one or get like the intensive package. Like, it's kind of weird how you will learn so much more about your audience through offering a membership and who actually joins it. And lastly, and this is a really big one for me, and I'd love you to consider the potential of this for your business. Memberships and the money you'll make from them are about so much more than the membership fees. So I sent an email the other day with the exact number, but I think it's like 43,000, maybe someone can tell me, because I sent an email the other day, from membership fees for ConvertKit Club over its lifetime. But ConvertKit Club for me is kind of like this weird lead generation thing where people pay to be in my world, and then they pay to stay in my world, and then I can also sell them other stuff. So if your business just is the one thing and that is just the membership, then this wouldn't really apply to you. But if you sell anything else, so that's courses, one-to-one, like anything else, people in your membership will, you know, be engaging with what you're doing every month, and they'll hopefully really like you and really enjoy what you do, and then you offer them other stuff and they will also buy that. So many of my clients and customers of my courses and all my other things, so many of them originally or early on came in through ConvertKit Club, because I can build so much like know, like and trust about what I offer through ConvertKit Club. And so many people join ConvertKit Club, and that's like you know, a lot of people each month actually, they'll find me on Google for a blog post, they'll sign up for the freebie at the bottom of the blog post, and then on the Tripwire they'll get a special deal to join ConvertKit Club, and then they will join, and that's it. They've literally just found out about me, and now they're in my membership. Chances are they're going to stay. They're going to be in my world, hear about other things I'm selling and doing. They get an invite to Team EBG's Party Pad, which is my client and customer and member like private Facebook group, and then they just stay in my world basically. Okay, Brittany said, this is totally why I started one. I wanted to be able to just create a bunch of content and tools without having to sell a bunch of content and tools. Not like a bunch, but you know, yeah, I know what you mean. So yeah, there's lots of reasons why people are attracted to memberships. And for some people it is, they like creating and they don't like selling. And memberships can be really good for that. But memberships can be good for lots of different reasons. Chris asks, if you're using Teachable for your membership hosting site, are your monthly payment request invoices done through Teachable too? No. So it's confusing how I've got it set up. It's for historical reasons. I wouldn't necessarily recommend. All sales, all money goes through Samcart, and then I use Zapier to integrate Samcart with Teachable, and then all delivery of my courses and ConvertKit Club is done through Teachable. Okay, we made it, you guys. We made it. We made it. Whew, that was a marathon. I'm so glad it's under 2 hours though. I was worried we would be going all night. Okay, I hope that has been helpful, interesting. We've lost some people along the way, which was inevitable with something this long. I tried to get it all in. I wanted it to be super detailed. I didn't want to hold back on the details for you. Does anyone have any questions about anything under the memberships umbrella, or anything you've realized, or anything that you found super interesting or surprising, or anything? Has anyone got anything? So Robin said super helpful. Susan said this has been very freeing. Oh, that's a nice word. I'm glad it's been freeing, Susan. Lorna had to pop off, but she's back and will catch the replay. John's super helpful. Brittany, I just need to thank you for this info and bringing this pigacorn into my life. I mean, I suppose it is a pigacorn, isn't it? I hadn't thought about that. I bought new graphics for this training, obviously, because that's how I roll. Someone with a very code name, only saw the last bit and loved it. When is the video replay? I will hopefully send it out to you this evening, but it's going to take hours to process because it's really long. So it might be tomorrow morning. Lorna said the focus on what we offer as USP is real food for thought. Yes, I think it can be very easy to just create a very, let me actually put my camera back on. Oh, but then I'll twiddle in my hair. Never mind. I think it can be super easy to just create a general thing that's like what everyone else does and offer what you see other people offering, and you really dilute down like your magic. So I think, so for ConvertKit Club, I know that the magic is in the Facebook group, and I kind of like, people join because they know the trainings are in there, but then they stay because of the Facebook group and the access to me and my brain and how I explain things and all of that. So I think being really clear on your magic and focusing on that and allowing yourself to almost let go of some of the other things you feel like you should need to offer that aren't directly contributing to that can be really helpful. John said, love the honesty about it all, and seems that you showed that it's possible even when the numbers are low. It's totally possible even when the numbers are low. Even when I was had like 25 members at that time, that was a decent amount of money and a huge percentage of my list, because a lot of people joined who weren't even on my list. So that's the first thing I'd say. And so many people who I've worked with and who have paid me thousands of dollars over the years came in through ConvertKit Club. So it's worth it for so many reasons. Okay. Okay, Michelle Rose, loved it. You made it simpler and made me realize that content isn't king. Content is not king when it comes to memberships. Content, people who create too much content in memberships are probably actually sabotaging their membership, because then your members get super overwhelmed. And when your members are overwhelmed and they feel like they're not making good use of their investment, so they're not watching all these trainings that you keep churning out, then they might leave because they feel behind, and you don't want to be creating that sort of vibe. Will it be in the Facebook group or on Teachable? Do you mean about the replay? I will link the replay. It won't be in Teachable. It won't be in the Facebook group. I'll send you a link to it. It'll probably be on YouTube somewhere or something like that. I'm not sure where I'll be, but it'll be somewhere. Chris said, really appreciate your time and information, Lizzie. Lots to think about. Good. Lorna, as you know, I've always thought in terms of content creation, and you've taught me how access to an individual with an individual approach is of value. It really is. Like, the thing about ConvertKit Club is ConvertKit themselves have dozens and dozens and dozens of help tutorials, but people join and stay in ConvertKit Club because I can translate to their specific situation, and that's the value of getting my brain. Laren said, does the group being on Facebook help? Any thoughts about hosting sites such as Mighty Networks? I have it on Facebook, honestly, because I am on Facebook. I'm on Facebook all day anyway. There would be no reason for me to put it anywhere else that would make it difficult for me. So Facebook is the path of least resistance for me. For other people, if your audience is not on Facebook, you might want to consider somewhere else. I personally do not understand Mighty Networks at all. I'm part of some memberships that are on Slack, and that can work. So I think it depends on what you want and where your audience are, as to what can work best for that. But there's no right or wrong about it. I'm just on Facebook, so it was obviously going to be on Facebook for me. Susan said, where do you post your Facebook Live videos after you download them on Teachable? Yes, I download them from Facebook, and then I upload them to Teachable. Just the monthly live training ones, the Q&As, I just leave in ConvertKit Club Facebook group, and people can watch them there. I also leave the monthly live training ones in ConvertKit Club, and sometimes people watch them in there too over the next few days. But then I think on my hairband. I think it's really helpful I like to know I've got that content I've created safe if something were to happen to Facebook, and then I upload them to Teachable. Michelle Rose said, Lizzie, you pretty much make up your own rules, lol. So helpful. So I do make up my own rules, yes. How helpful was Stu McLaren's Tribe to you? Apologies if you discussed this at the start, was putting kids to bed. I had one slide about Tribe. Tribe was super helpful to me. I think it's an absolutely fantastic course. It's one of the best course experiences I've ever had. Over the next few days, you will be hearing more about my Tribe experiences. I just want to keep this fairly pitch free, but I'll also be announcing in the next couple of days my bonuses if you did want to sign up for Tribe. But I love Tribe. Love Tribe. I also love MemberSite Academy. I love them both, but they're very different. And I'm going to be sharing something more about the differences between them soon. Yes, I will give you the link to the replay in an email. You will get an email either this evening or tomorrow with the link to this replay if you are here now. Susan said, do people not join ConvertKit Club because they aren't on Facebook? I have never had anyone tell me that. So I've never had, not everyone who joins ConvertKit Club joins the Facebook group. And sometimes it takes them months to join the Facebook group, which I find very strange. But no one's ever told me they haven't joined the club because the support is in the Facebook group. If someone were to tell me that, I would say, unfortunately, it's on Facebook and there's not much I can do about that. Susan asked, have you ever tried the Membership Guys site? Yes. So MemberSite Academy is the membership about memberships that the Membership Guys run. So I have done Stu McLaren's Tribe course, and I am currently a member of the Membership Guys and MemberSite Academy. I'm an affiliate for both. I love both. I think they're both fantastic. I think they're both very different. And I'll be sharing more about that over the next few days about what I see the key differences are for people. Okay, does anyone have any other questions? I'm so impressed you've stayed on with me. I just like, once I've started, I'm just like, I'm going to keep going. It's going to be as long as it goes. Erin asked, do most of your members come from your list, ads, and or social media? So I don't run any ads. I very briefly, like last month, was doing some ads for a bit. No, March. Yes, it's the last month. I don't run any. I've never really done any paid ads anywhere. So it's all organic. A lot of people find me. There are basically 3, maybe 4 ways people find me. The first way is Google. So they find my website or they find a blog post that's answering a question about something they want to know. That is a very common way people find me. Another way people find me is on Facebook, in Facebook groups. So I am incredibly active in the official ConvertKit Facebook group called the ConvertKit Family. I'm in there all day, every day, as I am with ConvertKit Club, basically. So a lot of people find me in there. I'm also active in a lot of other Facebook groups. Like if someone says ConvertKit somewhere in a group, I'm going to find it. Someone's going to tag me. I'm going to be there. So that's a way. Facebook groups, Google, referrals, that is a way. Not so much for club, but certainly for finding out about me in general. And I get a small number of people who find out about me on the ConvertKit Certified Experts page. And sometimes ConvertKit send people to me directly, but they generally don't. By club, they're generally looking to work with me one-to-one. I have dabbled in Pinterest before, didn't really know what I was doing, stopped doing that. I've recently dabbled in Instagram, again, no, not really a fan. I love Facebook. I love Facebook groups. I love helping people on Facebook. I find the conversations very genuine on Facebook. Not genuine, like when, I can actually say and do something of help, rather than people just like almost broadcasting at each other. That's where most of my people come from. John said, why did you choose Teachable as a platform? John, are you in Team EBG's Party Pad? I'm not sure which John this is. I've got a few Johns in my world. Are you in Team EBG's Party Pad? Because, yeah, that's the question. Oh, we've not met yet. John, can you send me an email, hello@elizabethgoddard.co.uk. I did a whole live in a group that I can let you in about Teachable versus Membervol, and other stuff about Teachable. So basically, briefly, Teachable, with my wife Emma, we created, like, we went from idea to launch in like 24 hours for this thing called Get Shit Done Club. And we had paying customers, members within 24 hours also. And we wanted to do a tech library, and I knew how to set up Teachable super fast. So I bought Teachable and I set it up because I wanted to do it super fast, and it was going to take too long to like set it up in OptimizePress and stuff. So then I had a Teachable account with like one thing on, and just slowly over time I have moved more and more things across to Teachable. I love how easy it is to drag and drop stuff on Teachable. Like, I like how it's organized. It's not very customizable in terms of layout, but it just really makes sense to me. Like, here are your courses, here are the lessons, here is the content, drag and drop the bits in. And I just find it super quick and super easy to do what I need to do with it, and manage people in there and all of that jazz. So I really like Teachable. It's very difficult to say, would I choose Samcart and would I choose Teachable if I was starting again? Maybe not. Lots of things in my business are for weird historical reasons, but I do really, really like Teachable. Okay, any final questions? I will send this recording shortly. I will include the slides because I think that'd be helpful for a couple of people. Yeah, you'll be hearing more from me over the next few days about memberships and some other stuff, and some bonuses and some offers and all of that good stuff relating to Tribe, which is going through its launch at the moment. Yeah, and if you have any like follow-up questions or anything, post them in a group if I'm in that group with you. If you're in one of my groups, post it in the group. Catch me on live chat. You know where I am. So yeah, I'm glad you hopefully found this helpful. And it's gonna make me really big. There we go, really big. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, whatever time it is where you are. Okay, bye.